Hello, Internet. We are back live after probably a few. No, it's been actually almost a full 24 hours that I've been offline, so that's good. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Thank you for joining us here at Coded Live. I'm your host, Sam Basu, and today is Friday, which means we are still living in a pandemic. Still can't go hang out with people, but we like to spend time with the folks we love. And today I have my wonderful friend and the awesome Jessica Engstrom. This way? No, this way. Right here. How are you, Jessica?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Great.
good, and thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for coming on and taking the time out. I know it's kind of late evening for you, so it's Friday. And so for the chat show, our one rule is we don't share screen. We don't code. This is just like where we are at a conference or we are at some event and we stretch our legs, we sit down like a hallway conversation and we try to know you a little better because you are passionate and you do some amazing things. So, do you want to introduce yourself? Who are you?
I'm Jessica Engstrom. I live in Sweden, where right now the weather is a little bit confused.
Dark and gloomy?
Uh,
No.
well, we went from snow to sun, and now we have snow again.
Okay.
It's not sticking, but it's still get off my lawn. I want
Hmm.
spring. But I
Yeah.
work with UX here in Sweden mostly.
Nice,
It's a
nice.
lot of
And
fun.
yeah, well, I mean, you are downplaying who you are. You are a UX superstar. You're like an internet sensation for all that you do. You do
Wow,
amazing talks, and you are
thank
always
you.
full of such great ideas about UX. I want to dig in a little bit more, but I do want to know you a little better, maybe. So, how long have you been, and which part of Sweden are you in?
I am currently in Stockholm, or
Stockholm.
just outside of
I
Stockholm.
love Stockholm. I
And
can't tell you how much I wish I was there right now because we have not been traveling, almost all
we
of us.
haven't.
Yes.
It's been a year,
Yeah, it's literally been a year now. So how long have
but it
you
makes
been
you
in?
appreciate.
It does, it does. I mean, our house and our yards look much better, but part of it is getting a little repetitive now. But yeah, at least we get to hang
Yeah,
out here on the internet. So
there
how
you
long
go.
have you lived in Stockholm? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
I have been here 19 years,
Oh wow.
and I like it. I like it. I my birth town is Malmo, so the south side of
Hmm.
Sweden.
Hmm.
So very close to Denmark. So Jimmy, my husband, usually calls me Danish, which I don't mind actually. So,
So
but yeah,
Jessica,
19 years.
wow, yeah. So you mentioned Jimmy. So Jessica and Jimmy are kind of the power couple. Like they do UX, they do Blazor, they do all types of client apps. So if you are in Sweden, like these are the royal couples that you need to talk to because they're both amazing. And maybe
We
we'll
do
have
everything
Jimmy.
that's fun.
Yeah, yeah, you really do. We'll have Jimmy on the show sometime as well. So nothing you don't like about Stockholm, huh?
The weather. I
The
mean,
weather.
I like. We have in Sweden. We have amazing social security with free healthcare or near to free healthcare and
Hmm.
medicines and all that stuff. And I love the seasons. I love fall.
Yeah.
I love spring. I love summer. I love winter. But I don't like the in betweens.
Right.
Like we have now. Just give me
Yeah.
one or the other. Don't mess
Right.
around.
I hear you. I hear you. So,
So,
I was actually in Stockholm for a thing that you and Jimmy put together. That was last
yeah.
year. When was that? Earlier in 2020, or maybe it was, no, it was like February, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just in the
Yeah.
beginning of February.
Yeah. There we go.
Uh,
I loved Stockholm. I've actually never been there, and Jessica took us on a little tour of downtown with a ghost touring company, right?
yeah, in the
Oh, it was
old
so much fun
city.
in the old city. It
And
was
it's
so
a
much fun.
really, really old city. And I love it. It's really nice. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
When we have,
Awesome. So
we're very close to nature as well.
yeah, yeah, that's always good. Yeah. So tell us about what you do, all the UX stuff
Um,
that you do.
yeah, it's complicated. No, it's not. So I do user experience. I try to teach people to improve their user experience for the users. But I also teach how to do that. So I
Yeah.
have. I have different classes and workshops and stuff, and I'm also CEO of our company.
Oh, wow.
So I do everything from bookkeeping to keeping the CTO, being my husband, from overspending, to UX evaluation. So I go into a customer that has some issues. They may or may not be aware of them, and look at their product and see how can we make this easier for the people who are actually using the systems. Because we all know that all those internal systems that we use, the sales programs, the whatever you do, your time management, whatever you want, we all have those systems that are less than optimal. And yeah.
While you're talking, we see somebody lurking, coding after dark. We don't know who that is, who that might be, but yeah,
he would never overspend.
We geeks and nerds, like, we love our toys. Like, we have to invest a little bit in our happiness, right?
Yeah.
You can't
and
put
I'm
a
not
price on
that hard
happiness.
I'm not that hard to convince.
Because maybe
I'm
you
not.
enjoy them too. There you go.
I might.
Yeah. So with UX, like, that's the part that we love about what you do, because everybody realizes the importance of UX and why, when you fail on it, why so many things go wrong. But you actually show people how to do it right. Right, you actually teach classes and you go through, like, I mean, do you look at like really old, like, legacy apps and kind of walk people through like what might be wrong?
Yeah, I do that, and I also have newer examples as well, because we're still not there.
No.
Sometimes when we see companies investing a lot in UX and UI, which unfortunately sometimes is bunched together as one entity, which it is not, then most of what they see, they get more bang for the buck, is actually the nice, sleek design, but it's unusable.
Right.
And I still see stuff like that. So take Ignite, for example. If you go into the conference agenda and you filter stuff out, the clear all button looks exactly the same as your filters, like Blazor or stuff like that, which means it's so easy for me to just cancel everything out and I have to start from the beginning.
Yeah, you have trained eyes that can see those things that we will miss.
I see it everywhere.
You see it. Like, I like, just like the old movie, like, I see dead people, like you see dead UI.
That's a good one. Yeah, about that. Yeah. Something like that.
I want to dig in more on the UX front, but let's talk more about, like, we see what you do now, but how did you start your career? Like, is this something you always wanted to do?
No, it's not. I was not aware of this being a thing, even.
Okay.
So when I moved here 19 years ago, it was, first of all, because I had met Jimmy online, I might add, because I was beta testing his application.
I see.
And also because Stockholm was the only place where you could find modern programming languages, classes in that. So it was super hard to find .NET, for instance, because this was 19 years ago and it just came out.
Right. Yeah.
So I started out in the developer world. But fast forward a bit, I think around 2006 or so, Zune. You remember the player, the music player?
I have Zune. Yes, I loved it.
Yes, it is so nice. And the design is so amazing. So they started to implement this new design language, which we fell in love with. We couldn't get the Zune here, but we got it in the US and brought it back. And if we fast forward even more, 2009 or 10 or so, Microsoft started to talk about their new design language, and they had worked with the Zune team. Exactly, Metro design language. And this is where it started. This is my first Windows phone.
You're not supposed to date us like this. Like, yeah, we have been through a few years of like failed technologies, maybe. But again, that's how you grow in the industry. But we had some good stuff, and I spent like 3 years of my life on Windows Phone. It was amazing. The UX was good. But
It was.
yeah.
And that was actually got me thinking, because my mom is, or I should say was, because she isn't anymore, but she was as untechnical as you possibly could get them. And I mean, we gave her a Windows Phone, and I was really expecting a lot of calls. But there were none, because for her, the in-your-face, large, very clear icons made all the difference. And I started to, wait a minute. So if we can just be clear, everybody knows how to do it. So when the day comes where she got Windows 8, she already recognized that from Windows Phone. And she's a internet star now. She has Facebook groups that she runs, and she's even on Twitch now. She doesn't stream, but she follows a bunch of streamers. Nice. So it's that really resonated well with me. That you can make something that easy to use. So that, for me, I went down that rabbit hole. And I have not looked back since.
Yeah, that's quite a story. Yeah, and you're piling on the sadness here. We had some good times with that UX, but again, I mean, unless the market and unless the developers catch on, unless there are apps, it's hard to sustain an ecosystem. So yeah, okay, so that's how you pivoted. Yeah. So like, do you ever get questions like from other non-technical people? Like my mom is as non-technical as it gets. Like, what do you exactly do? Like, do you have to explain to people like what you do?
How do I explain? Well, I help companies or products make their stuff understandable.
As simple
it is as simple as that. Yeah, it's it should just work. You shouldn't think about it. If you open a door, you should not have to, okay, where is the handle? Stuff like that. It's the same with software. It should be. I got a question once on a podcast. He did not expect the really boring answer I gave, but he asked, do you have like an example of a really good UX? Yeah, the ones that just works.
Yeah, it's out of your way. You don't think about it.
Yeah, that's a good UX.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, and this is again what we love about you. You have like very on point, specific and simple examples of what works and what doesn't. So, let me ask you this. So, having worked in UX for such a long time, what do you think is the most like exciting thing for you to work on, and what are some of the challenging aspects of what you do?
Well, the journey. I like following the people's journey. So if I teach it at a school, I teach UX for developers, and seeing, I usually ask a question the first day. How many of you are even interested in UX or even front end for that matter? And how many of you see yourself working with that? And usually it's like 1 or 2 people per class that might be interested, and usually there's at least 10 people who are not even the least interested. This is a programming class. They want to see code, right? But afterwards, when you see that click, when you tell them why they need to do something, for me, having that why makes all the difference. If I tell you, you should always have the button to the left, period, you will stray from that because you have no incentive of why, because Jessica said so. But if I tell you that if you put the button to the right or to the left of a form, for example, even the people that are using screen enlargement tools will be able to see it without any issues. And it's right in the line of sight, you will get it for free. Then you understand why. And when you have that why, you see something, you see a shift in people. And that is what I like the most. And I also like when I'm at customers, and usually they have tried to do some work themselves, and they say, we think that our system should look like this. And I say, okay, really good that you have done the prep work. I will take that into consideration after I see what your users need. And usually it's some internal work program or whatever I'm looking at. So I sit with the people. I see where the curses comes out, and I see where they're sighing, what's taking their time. And if I get back and I say, well, this is what I find. There's a lot of swearing and there's a lot of time waste going on here. So if you were to do this instead, you would save this and that, or whatever the benefit is. And that I also like, because I like the contradiction when you think you are forced to think inside your box when you already have seen this system, you have worked in it for so many years, you don't think that you can go outside the box. And I kind of like that as well.
But is that also like a challenge where you see a company having maybe already thought out what their app should look like and trying to convince them that you're not meeting some UX standards?
Yeah, but I think where usually, let me back it up. Many companies don't want to put in money or developer hours to upgrade the internal systems that the customer won't see.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a waste of effort. But if we just do a simple example of, you have a system, you're a medium company, 200 employees, you have this system that takes 15 seconds longer than it should. 15 seconds, that's nothing. I can't even go get coffee, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm one person and I do that once a day, that's 5 minutes a month.
That's
Again, I can... No, that's... Yeah, it does, but it's still just 5 minutes. But if you're 200 people at that company and you have to be in this system twice a day, that's 600 hours.
Yep.
You're just throwing the money out there. Take that money, put it into the system. Everybody will feel good. And the employees will actually mentally feel better. They want to come to work. There will be fewer sick days. And when you get them to think like that,
show them the
that's
value.
What I like.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
And that's kind of my job, to show them why they need to fix stuff.
Okay, so let me back up a step. Like I'm putting on my developer hat here, which is actually the same hat that I wear almost every Friday. But we don't find this very easy. Like we struggle with design, and we struggle to get UX right, which is where you come in. What is there to help us out? Like I hear a lot about design systems. Again, some of them are very formal, have a lot on it. But am I okay if I just pick up a big design system and align my UI to it? Or should I try like theming or kind of building it up from the ground up based on how big a team I'm working on? So what's your take with like design systems?
If you're developing for... I mean, the bare minimum you can do to elevate your design is stick to the design guidelines for the platform, or the industry standards, if there's a difference there. Because that will give you a lot for free. You will get all the components and stuff like that. And don't try to do an Android app and also put it on the App Store, because it will be different. I mean, you can do the same app, but you need to tweak a few things. Like for the Android, you don't have to have a back button in the UI because you have a physical button for that, but for the iPhone you need to. So it's stuff like that that will it makes all the difference. But also there's a few different things that we can keep in mind. Just having the thought of there is an end user behind all the tasks and the tight deadlines and all of that. That will also sometimes, if you just take a breath and someone is going to use this. It's not just me cramming stuff in. That can also help, of course. And thinking about asking questions. Do I really need to put 5 buttons here? on this page, or can I move one? Is this an important thing? So trying to prioritize what's the most important thing. If you are Instagram, what is the most important thing? To post a picture. How many ways can you do that? Do you need to have all the 10 different ways you can do that on the screen? Or is one sufficient and then you have to go into the hamburger menu or something like that? So trying to think to what is the most important and what is the least important, and can we move that? That is also very helpful. And there's also a UX system that I really, really like, and it translates very, very well to developers, and it's called Tenets and Traps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've heard of that.
And it's basically a deck of cards with very clear language, because UX can sometimes be a bit fluffy. It should feel intuitive, but what's intuitive to me, who's on an Android, might be counterintuitive for someone who's on iPhone.
Yep.
So that system also explains why, and also sometimes how you can fix it. So why it's an issue and how to fix it.
So I posted this link. Is this the one you're talking about, UI Traps?
Yeah, that's the one if you're in the US, and if you're in Sweden, it's if you are in the rest of the world, it's azm.se.
.se. Yeah, I see that. Interesting. Why is this different? This is you. This is you. I see.
Yeah, we're resellers to the rest of the world, because I'm really passionate about this system, because it's so easy to use. Actually, I have a deck of cards here. It's literally a deck of cards, and all the cards have like this one is called efficient, which means there's a trap that messes our UI up. So in this case, it's information overload. So don't put too much stuff on there at once. And on the back side of the cards, there's actually a real life example, so you know how to fix it. This one I use in some of my classes because it's kind of a cheat sheet. And I know that Jimmy is listening, but if we can pretend he's not, since he got hand of those cards, he's become really, really good at UX, because he was not that good before. I mean, he was really, really bad.
Well, that's the same for a lot of developers. But I think like having something physical in hand and having like real simple, concrete example, I think that kind of makes you stop before you do something. So yeah,
exactly.
I like that. Yeah, I really do.
And that's the best thing. Think about the why, not so much how it should feel or all that fluff, because there are hundreds of UX principles and laws and rules and stuff, and we can't possibly learn all those. Especially if you are a developer, you have your hands full with the deadlines and the backlog. But if we have just a few things to keep us on the right mindset, I think I have not met a developer who is actually bad at UX, as long as you get that mind shift.
Yeah. And we have our good friend Stacy in the chat room here for Jim. So I'm trying to look up the URL. So the front end conference that you and Jimmy and Daniel put together. Front end. What was it called? What's the URL? I'm trying to get to.
It's front minus and dot minus net.
.net front end. Let me just do a search, because I'm drawing it.
I don't even.
I'm drawing
That's
a blank
bad.
place.
I can't even remember my own URL. The .NET front-end days.
Yes, I found it. So Jimmy and Jessica and Danielle and everybody else who helped them out, they put together this wonderful conference, and Stacy was a speaker, I think.
Yes.
But this was so good for everybody to just kind of get together and talk about .NET front end. So thank you for doing that. And that's kind of how I also know Stacy. So yeah, thanks for tuning in the chat room. We're just all giving Jimmy a hard time. But that's true for almost all developers. Like we don't understand this stuff. Yeah.
I did say he was so much better, though. I
Yeah,
did
there we
say
go.
that.
He's
That's a
better now.
positive.
Yes.
Oh, he's much better.
All right. So, of all the technology stacks that you see that apps are built with, anything that you find exciting? Anything that you particularly like working with?
Well,
I mean, UX is kind of covering everything, but just in terms of just your
yeah,
preferences, like you and Jimmy probably deal a lot with Blazor nowadays. Like, is there anything you particularly
yeah,
like?
yeah. I'm actually a technical reviewer on Jimmy's
Nice.
Blazor book, and I find it very easy to get into because I don't develop that much anymore. I mean, for me, code is like the German I took in school like 15 million years ago.
Do you
I
speak
can
German?
understand. No, I took 3 years of German, but I speak nothing. I can figure out the concept if I read it, but I'm not able to speak it fluently. And that's
Hmm.
kind of where I am with code. I can figure out what's going on, but I don't really create the code that much myself anymore. But I do enjoy Blazor. It's there has been a lot of I can do that. It can't be that easy. How did they know? There's a lot of that
Yeah.
going on. So definitely Blazor.
Yeah, I think it's exciting, particularly this year with all that's happening. It's Blazor is going to be very exciting moving forward. So yeah, I know Jimmy is into it. Glad to see that you're kind of also seeing the excitement. And for what you do, like you don't care what stuff is built on top of. You care about
No.
how friendly it is to users. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So you obviously have a lot of tech gadgets. Some of it you say no to clearly for your budgeting purposes. And Jimmy said he clipped the part that he's much better. Clips don't count apparently. Uh,
Oh
so I was on a stream yesterday where somebody asked me a question about Telerik. Will we do this like support? I was like, I'm off air even though I'm on the internet, so do not count my words. And then sure enough, somebody clipped it, and now I'm going to be liable because I said something about Telerik will do this, which I have no right to say, but we'll see.
no. Oops.
So, off the tech gadgets that you do approve, do you have a favorite? Do you have something that you really like?
Yes, but you're going to be disappointed. You're
Okay,
going to
well,
be so disappointed.
all right.
My water
What is
bottle.
that?
This
Really?
is a hydrate. It's a hydrate with an I. Um,
Hmm.
I am very strict with how much water I drink. I want to
As one
drink a
should
lot of
be.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It makes all the difference. But before this bottle, I used to have a regular bottle with, and I put rubber bands on it. So I needed to drink
No, you moved
4 of those
around.
bottles. So I removed. Yeah, very
Yeah.
analog. But this one, it blinks and it reminds me to drink, and it keeps
Oh,
tracks
it's fancy.
down to the milliliter of water I drink.
Wow.
It keeps track of, and it has an application. So
Nice, nice.
it's
So,
that.
like, I mean, do you charge it? Like, does it have a thing that you put on to charge?
Yeah, yeah. You can screw a little charging plate from underneath and charge it. But since I got it for my birthday in late January, I had to charge it once after that.
Oh, wow. Wow,
Yeah,
that is incredible.
so it is. I'm
Oh,
really impressed. When I just thought it stopped. There
so
we go. That's
that's the
the
URL. Yeah, interesting. I have
yeah.
not looked
It's
into this. So these are the kind of IoT devices or whatever, like intelligent devices that you can get behind. Like some of the IoT stuff, like really, really, are we
yeah.
connecting our toilet to Wi-Fi? But this is fun. This is actually very useful.
Honestly, if he can say that it has an API, I will approve it. I'm not that
There you
hard
go.
to convince. We
There you
like
go.
everything that has an API that has connected to Wi-Fi. We have so many unnecessary gadgets, and what we're
Yeah,
looking at now is getting a car. and I was not aware of how fun cars could be. So I just got my license a few months back, and I had thought that a license is a necessity. It's not something fun. Driving is just a means to an end. And cars are just something with four wheels and different colors. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
So I've been test driving a lot of cars. So, and yesterday, I think you are into cars as well, aren't you? If I recall correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Audi e-tron Sportsback.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't know how not to get that car.
It's very, very nice. Very nice. And
it has all the tech.
All the tech that you can think of. And this is where I am a car guy, and we can just completely digress and talk about cars for an hour now. But the electric cars.
Yeah, we can speak about UX in cars, because there is no.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah, like dashboards get anything from like super busy to just a single screen and everything in between. So there's a lot going on. But
yeah.
And this is also the interesting difference in the kind of lifestyles we live in. Like most parts of the US, like you can't really do without a car, because that's just like we don't have public transport in the metropolitan areas. While for you, like it's an option. Like you don't have to have a car, right? And that's where it's just so different.
Yeah, it was a shock to me the first time I got to the US, and I was like, well, I'm just going to pop down the street and get some sodas. And he's like, no, you're not, because it's a 20-minute drive. And there's no, this was in Phoenix, Arizona. And
literally, Phoenix has some, yeah. Yeah, most places don't.
Yeah, not where he lived. You couldn't even walk. You couldn't even cross the street without risk of dying. And that was a culture shock for me, coming especially from Malmo, where we take the bicycle everywhere.
Yeah. So, look into that e-tron Sport bracket. Is beautiful. They are also doing the e-tron GTs, which are the sedan, which is much more pricier, but a little bit faster. So
much more pricier.
Much more
like
pricier.
This one is not pricier.
It is pricey, but
well, I did look at the sports line, the pro line. So it's a little over 100K.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't put a price on driving the same thing that Iron Man does, right? So.
Oh, that's how I get Jimmy. That's how I get Jimmy on board. Jimmy, did you hear that? Did you catch that? Iron Man drives this car.
In the Avengers Endgame.
There you go.
They show Iron Man driving it, but they faked it having like a gas engine type noise, which the car doesn't make any noise. Like it has some like fake noising. No, it does not have Jarvis, and I think we all wish we could say Jarvis.
We can fix that.
It takes a little bit of effort and hacking. So with
it
some
does
of the
have a heads-up display.
It does, yeah. So Jimmy's like, nope, you can't call it Jarvis, so no deal. But the thing is, there's some tech to this. So if you look at like the Alexas, the series, which I'm probably waking up my thing here, you cannot call them Jarvis, because I think a lot of us would like to, because they're careful on picking up this wake word, and they don't want it to be something. I mean, they want like an emphasis letter, like an X, or you can say Amazon, which is a very specific thing. So they do not open up that API. So you cannot just wake it up with whatever, because it's actually process intensive for them to figure out that you're saying Jarvis. But someday we'll see. All right, so enough about tech. Like I said, like we can totally digress on this, but let's talk more about you. Like when you are not busy doing everything that you are doing, what's your social and work-life balance like?
Yeah, remove the balance.
There's no balance.
I struggle.
What do you do for
that.
fun? What do you do for fun when you are relaxing?
Yeah, I can't relax really, and since the pandemic, No,
Hmm.
I have serious issues with that. We went to a spa, me and Jimmy, for a couple of years back for our anniversary, and we went and had our massages, and we go sit by the pool in the lounge chairs, and I was like, yeah, okay, so how long do we do this? Is it time to go up? Where's my phone? And no, I can't. I don't have that in me. Relaxing for me is color sorting my t-shirts in the drawer.
There you
It's
go.
sorting my spices alphabetically, and I'm weird like that.
No, no, whatever
But
gives you joy, that's all that matters.
yeah, well, we are not
Excellent.
really traveling right now,
Yeah.
and I'm not really swimming anymore either because pandemic. But I did take the opportunity because the workload went down a little, and it kind of shifted in different ways. So I did study for my driver's license, and I went a little
Okay.
bit above and beyond.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, that's probably what I do.
Yeah. Well, with
We have
your
the problem is living with a person who is the same as you when it comes to conferences and tech and having those interests. We have nobody that comes and say to you, you need to stop now, or you need to
you're
sit
just
down
feeding
now
off each other.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. So we kind of don't really know where the work ends and the fun stuff starts,
Yeah.
because they
Like
kind
they say,
of go hand in hand.
as long as you're having fun doing what you're doing, that's the best thing.
But
Cool.
nowadays, driving is
Yeah.
something I really enjoy, which I
Yeah. Yeah.
was
You should
not expecting.
get more into it, and then Europe has so many like open racetracks where like they'll open it up on like a Saturday or Sunday. You can take any car down and do a few laps, and yeah, just get a little bit more into it if that's your thing. We are running probably a little late here, but Jessica had joined us for I think a set of conferences, and then we did a drive like I forget where it was. Like we were driving from uh,
Switzerland or
somewhere in
to
Switzerland
Switzerland?
to Munich. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was it was a good fun set of events, and we were stopping at a couple of cities and speaking. And yeah, and Jessica and our good friend Sarah Fats, who works with me, and they were in the back seat, and they just like giggled for like 2 hours. We have
Yes.
some
We
stories.
had
Yeah.
to apologize. We had to apologize to Sam. But Sam got to drive a really nice car on the Autobahn. So give
Sweet.
and take.
Yes. All right. Are you into food? Do you have a favorite cuisine?
I do. I love ahi tuna salad,
Okay.
especially the one from San Francisco at Pier 39.
Mm,
I dream of
you're
this
getting
stuff.
it
It's
very
amazing.
fresh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That and
And do you?
chocolate.
No, of course. Yeah. I mean, does Sweden have good chocolate? It does, right? I mean, you're close enough to Belgium.
Yeah, but we also have good regular chocolate
Yeah. Good stuff. All
apart
right.
from that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And do you and Jimmy cook at home?
We do. We do. Right now we're in a rut, so it's a lot of tortellini and just
Yeah.
pasta because it's fast, and we've had a lot of stuff going on, so it's, we're kind of lazy. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of pasta right now.
Yeah. I think when the pandemic started, we all were home. Like, we all got very excited. Like, we can cook so many things. We have time. And then
Yeah.
slowly it's like another dinner that you have to cook, and we are all kind of starting to hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel now, but we
Yeah.
shall see. I mean, the pandemic is just wearing us down in a lot of different ways. All right, so this may be a trick question. If you had 1 million kronas is what you call it, right? Or krones,
Yeah.
the Swedish
Kronor.
currency. Krona, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, before I ask you that, Curious Drive, hello, hello, is our good friend.
Hi.
Thanks out with us in the channel. If you had $1 million or krones, what would you do right now?
Right now, I would go down to
Yeah.
the dealership and get that Audi. Oh
Well,
no, Stacy won't forgive me because I will try. I will test drive the BMW, the iX3 in 2
yeah.
weeks because it hasn't released here yet. So she will never forgive me if I don't at least
But
test drive it.
with $1 million, you can get both. You can get multiple of those, right?
No, I can't. No, I can't because these are electrical vehicles. They are
Yeah.
super expensive. The Audi, that barely covers it.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So
Depending
I'm
on what
excited for
model,
you.
of course.
Yeah. I'm excited for you that you're getting into driving. It's a unique set of like challenges, but it comes with some freedom that you can go anywhere.
Yeah. So next time we do a European tour, we need to talk cars and drive everywhere and not take the planes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Curious Drive is saying just how much he enjoyed my failed demo at
Nice. Thank
.NETCon.
you. Yeah.
It was like such a transition. Like here am I failing with everything that Azure has, and then we cut over to Jessica, and you see like beautiful polish and calmness. But anyways, you did an awesome job, and so many folks loved it, Jessica. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You did a great job though as well. It just
thank
happened to be the snafu on exiting the StreamYard Chrome.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is so perfect. So on Mac, I think it's a curse and a blessing. We have Command Q or Control Q, which essentially like it will completely kill an app no matter how many monitors you have it on. So I have like 3 monitors, and then when you kill Chrome, it does kill it across all monitors. So I dropped off for like a couple of seconds, and then I had to come back. Like, oh geez. Oh,
that's
Curious.
so painful.
Yeah, you did not miss much by missing my demo. No, so I had like 5 or 6 things I wanted to show. 4 of them worked, and then the cloud-based ones did not work. And I didn't have time to switch back to my local machine, which was working. But anyways, demo failures happen. We live with it. At least you have Jessica to save the day, coming right after me.
But that's the beauty of being live and doing Azure demos. We all know someone's gonna fail. Yeah.
It's real. And we don't have when Microsoft and Google do their like big tech conferences, like you should see some of the setup they have in the background. Like when one machine fails, like when Scott Hanselman's machine fails, like they have 2 machines right behind doing the exact same thing, so you can just flip a switch and go to the other machine, which we don't have quite. But,
no, exactly. They have hundreds of people sitting and just ghosting whatever the keynote demo is going about, and they're just switching computers, and then they have a person who's ghosting that person. It's amazing.
A lot of smoking mirrors, but that's how we present good stuff. But Jessica, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to just come and hang out. I know it's kind of late evening Friday for you. It's almost the end of the day. But looking ahead at the next, there you go. Perfect ending to just come and hang out with a friend. Looking ahead at the next maybe 6 months, a year, what are some things you are looking forward to? Like, give us some inspiration of what you think we developers should do. Like one thing to get better at UX, and then what are you looking forward to in the next few months?
Oh wow. Well, I'm looking forward to getting a car if I can decide what car to get, of course. But one thing to keep in mind, just take a deep breath and remember that there's actually an end user. Would you like to have 5 buttons there? Will they even see them? Just having that right, someone is using this. What if your mother or brother or whatever was going to use this? Would it be easy?
And it helps so much to just maybe just sit down and just look at another person's experience in seeing how they use your thing. And like Jessica mentioned before, I mean, if you can, that's really amazing if you can. And Jessica had mentioned this before. I will highlight that again. UI traps or AZM.SE traps. Use those cards that really do benefit us developers having a better understanding of what UX is. So, Jessica, thank you so much again. I hope your driver's license is super handy and you get yourself that Audi that you're looking forward to, and you go all over the places. Just make sure you stop and charge. I think the range is about 200 miles. I don't know how exactly that transfers to kilometers, maybe 300 plus
For
kilometers, which
the
is fine for the e-tron Sportback.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good amount of
Oh.
distance. Yeah.
There is another
And
competitor, the Mustang, Ford
no, the Mustang
Mustang
E.
Mach-E. It
Mm-hmm.
has
Yeah.
700 kilometers or something insane, maybe 610. But still, it's
Yeah.
insane. It's unheard of. It's
And Curious Drive here in the chat room, he drives an electric car as well. But again, some of
oh
these
really?
numbers, like some of these numbers, like you have to take things with a grain of salt. Like Tesla probably has the best battery tech, and their range is phenomenal. But some of them, you are also going for specific things that you may like in an Audi, and so on, or the Ford Mustang brand maybe. So yeah, do whatever floats your boat. Do whatever makes you happy.
I'm going to try a lot of cars.
Yeah, as you should. Looks like Curious Drive has a Chevy Bolt, which is also a great selling car in the US. 250 miles is quite a bit, and then like chargers, and you're actually better off in Europe. You have a lot more fast charging than we do.
Mm,
So it also depends like how much energy you're able to put in like per minute, how many kilowatt hours.
yeah,
And if you can get up to like the 250 plus kilowatt per hour range, like you are able to charge like 80% of it in like 30 minutes, and that's not
yeah.
bad at all. So yeah,
Yeah, you
good
need a
times
break
ahead.
anyway, so.
Exactly. Just settle down, have a coffee, charge your car, and then you go again. So Jessica, thank you for all that you do to make us developers a little more educated about UX and giving us the tools so we can all do better. Thank you for educating us. Thank you for entertaining us in your stories, in your examples. You're fabulous, and we love you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. And folks in the chat room, Curious Drive, and of course, Jimmy, who's been lurking, Stacy, and everybody else, thank you for hanging out with us. It's a Friday. We just stretch our legs and have a conversation like what we have been missing out in our not being in person. So thanks for hanging out with us. And yeah, it's Friday, so hope you have a great rest of your Friday. Good evening, and have a great evening and rest of your day. And I shall see you on the next stream. Okay, so bye for now. Thanks, Jessica, again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.